Say hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me is Mr. Ian Cameron. Ian, hope everything's well in Canada now. Hope everything's less smoky in Canada, especially.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. It's gotten better in terms of that. Obviously, it was bad for a while. You know what's smoking right now? Your picks and your bets in baseball, Jose. I mean, this is a nice run you've put together to get close to profit for the entire season, digging out from an early hole. So hopefully we can keep on digging tonight.
Yeah, hopefully today's the day. And I was doing some quick math on on why or how I've gotten myself out of this, and it's unsurprisingly, it's due to the Boston Red Sox. And it's very funny, Bobano. I've been betting just straight unders on the Red Sox for ages now, it feels like, this whole month.
Yep.
My last 11 bets, 9-1-1 on Red Sox games, including I swept the entire series for the Yankees. That was awesome. We had the Rafael Devers home run prop in that. That was awesome. 11-1-1 stretch here, betting on against the Red Sox. So it'll be very interesting to see if I can keep it up, because I've got 3 bets on that game again here today. So I'm excited to talk about it, Bobano. Excited for everyone to join us in the chat. As always, we appreciate you guys, and you guys are what makes this show really cook here. Shout out to Arthur Mead that became a member there again. Shout out to you, Arthur Mead, Real Deal Prime, and Justin McElvey joining us, and he's going with a little Ellie De La Cruz over bases there. So shout out to you, Mr. Justin McElvey. Fly White Mike in here as well. Air Dog, shout out to Air Dog, good name there. Little home run prop for De La Cruz. Tori Coker, appreciate you for watching, my man. It was a shame to see your Heat go down, but they fought. So shout out to you. Better than the Celtics. Can't say that. Rocco Rogers in here as well. Gerald Jones, RVD 420. Let's get after it. Shout out to J-Dub and AOD. No, I'm actually going to get a haircut here soon, J-Dub. My hair is a little ridiculous, as everyone knows. But let's get after
it. That is, actually, yeah. A little bit.
A little Atlanta Braves, Detroit Tigers action to start our card here. Obviously, I've no interest in this game. I mean, of course, we're at a minus 270 with Spencer Strider on the bump. That surprises nobody here. But, you know, I mean, again, maybe it's just because of the odds here, but 71% of the bets and only 24% of the money on the Braves here. 76% of the money on the Tigers, 29% is interesting mildly. I ultimately don't want to back them, especially off of such a great win for them last night. In my head this morning, I definitely was like, yeah, the Braves won last night, et cetera, et cetera. And then I thought, wait, did they win? And then someone on the show reminded me that the Tigers had their gigantic comeback last night. So shout to them, and more money, especially on the under here. So really the only play here would be for me, an under here for me, 52% of the bets, 85% of the money on the under there. So I passed, and according to Action, this opened up at 8.5 as well, and now down to a 7.5 here. So yeah, you can see the money going on there for a reason there, and we'll talk about that movement in the Red Sox game too, which really warmed my stomach too. But yeah, Bobana, what do you want here?
Yeah, you know what's great about being on Tuesdays is I like a lot of player props, strikeout props. There's a lot of them I like on the card today. There's a lot of home run props. It's Dinger Tuesday promotions at some of these sports books, so I usually try to bet a few more home run props on Tuesdays. So there's a bunch in both of those categories I like. And this is just for me. Look, I know Strider has shown some vulnerability. There's no question about that. And if you actually look at his last start that he had against, I believe it was the New York Mets, he was down a couple of miles per hour on his velocity. And I don't want to sound the alarm bells, but it was concerning, and predictably he had a brutal outing. 8 runs, 8 hits, 4 innings, 2 homers allowed. He's actually given up a home run now in 5 straight starts, at least 1 home run. So hasn't exactly been in his finest form. He's given up 4 runs or more in 3 of his last 5 starts. Yet Atlanta has won each of his last 3 starts because they've given him the run support, obviously, in spite of him maybe not pitching at his best. That being said, Detroit is very vulnerable against a pitcher like this, a flamethrower, a guy that can miss bats, and Detroit continues to strike out at an alarming rate. I'm sorry that when old man Morton is racking up 8 strikeouts against you last night, you got problems as a lineup as far as striking out too much. So if you're fanning 8 times against old man Morton last night, how are you going to fare tonight against Spencer Strider and the heat that he can throw at you? So I am on Spencer Strider over 8.5 strikeouts here, minus 130. Only bet for me in this game.
I like the look. Obviously, it's a good play every time you bet it, really. And I'm interested now. I'm looking up. Yes, Spencer Strider down a mile an hour on his fastball last time out.
That matters against some teams. They can tee off. Detroit can't do that. And Detroit, like I say, I think will have their issues tonight. They swing and miss a ton. They're one of the worst teams in baseball in terms of striking out a lot. So as a team, so I think it's a nice bounce back spot and opponent, in my opinion, for Strider tonight.
Very interesting. Something to keep an eye on. Spencer Strider's velocity there. It's very interesting.
Yep.
Shout out to you, Bobano. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. And yes, by the way, a lot of people are disappointed in the hat. So I guess I have to take out the hat and let the flow go. So shout out to you guys. Toronto versus the Orioles here. Boban, I want to hear your take first on this one. I had no action again here, but I absolutely lean to the Orioles here. I thought the Orioles were a good team to bet to win the division still at big plus money prices. I like the Orioles a lot, but Dean Kramer against the AL East just seemingly is never a good bet.
No.
Over would have been my play here. It's bumped up from 8.5 to 9, but really had nothing doing in this game. Bobana, what do you think?
Bassett's pitched very well in his career against Baltimore. I like the spot for Toronto. I like the price. I wasn't going to get involved initially, but they keep betting Baltimore, and Baltimore hasn't been as good the last week or so. I'm not saying that it's worrisome, but they didn't have a great series against Milwaukee. I don't think Kramer is the better of these pitchers. I do like the Jays here a little bit. First 5 full game split. And I like Bassett over 4.5 strikeouts as well. It's a very low number for Bassett. I think he's capable of getting to at least 5 Ks here in this start against Kramer. Kramer, by the way, you're right. I don't trust him. His home ERA is not good. His numbers against the AL East aren't good. And there's another prop I like here. Look, this is a leap of faith because Vladimir Guerrero Jr., of all Blue Jays, there's a lot of Jays hitting well right now. Bichette's been great. You're starting to see Matt Chapman turn it around. Brandon Belt has been really good the last couple of weeks. But Vlad Jr. has not been good, and he continues to struggle. He's striking out. He's flailing. He's popping the ball up too much. That being said, he's owned Dean Kramer. I mean, his numbers against Dean Kramer are scary, and he's homered off him multiple times. So I like the Vlad. I'm going to take a shot here. If Vlad Jr. is going to fucking get things turned around, it's going to start tonight against a guy he's dominated in the past. So we'll go with Vlad Jr., not only over 1.5 total bases, but I'm going to take a shot at that home run prop as well, plus 400 for a guy that I think has 3 or 4 home runs in his career against Dean Kramer.
I like that look, Bobano. It's very interesting because the market, like you mentioned, is on the Blue Jay or on the Orioles here. 48% of the bets and 65% of the cash on the Orioles here. Totals wise here, just everyone bet that over. 79% of bets and 74% of tickets on the over, and it's gone up a little bit. So I do like that total. And Remo saying, asking me if you want to touch on the total there real quick, Bobano.
It's tough because Bassett's an under pitcher to me. Kramer's an over pitcher. Baltimore can hit. Toronto can't always hit. And sometimes even Toronto hasn't hit perfectly against this kind of pitcher, a guy they should be able to hit. So it's a tough total for me. Can't get to it, unfortunately. I lean over, but no, not even close to betting it.
Yeah, I lean over, but the same way. Feel the same way. There you go, Remo. Shout out to you, my guy. Red Sox Rockies here. By the way, rematch of the 07 World Series. People forget.
Yeah.
We have a rematch of another World Series later on the card, too. Shout out to them. But this is an interesting matchup again. You guys know where I'm on. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw the plays early, and the market is adjusted accordingly. I had Red Sox Rockies under 10. I bet that as soon as I could last night, minus 118. Now that's a 9, which makes me feel great. I also have first 5 under 5.5. I have not checked the first 5 numbers, but I would assume we're getting a 4.5, right? First 5. Nope, just a 5. Okay, that's fine. And then I took Rockies first 5 money line here, plus 184. Line has moved towards the Rockies here. Similar market to the Rockies as last night as well here. About a 50-50 ticket split, but 91% of the money on the Rockies here. I think the Rockies are live to beat the Red Sox again. And it's just because the Red Sox can't hit. I don't know what it is. They can't hit anything right now. It's been ugly. Their defense is not good. They do have Pablo Reyes playing shortstop today, I believe. I need to refresh the RotoWire page for me. And yeah, Pablo Reyes playing shortstop, and that's because Kike Hernandez is horrible at the position. Just errors left and right. And that's really why the Rockies won last night. It was just the Red Sox kind of throwing away the ball game. We got so lucky in the 5th inning, or I guess in the 4th inning, an error by Kike gave us the one Rockies run we needed, thankfully. I kind of expect another low-scoring game. I think the Rockies can find a way to scratch across the run while the Red Sox continue to shoot themselves in the foot. So Rockies for me here, first 5 unders in both sides there too.
Yeah, I agree. I think this price is ridiculous, to be quite honest. Boston's minus 215. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous here, in my opinion, in this game. And look, Chase Anderson, guy I was looking to bet against as soon as I saw him making starts for the Rockies. He's actually pitched fairly effectively. The walks are low. The strikeouts are there. He's missing bats. He's given his team a chance to win. They have a winning record with Anderson on the mound. Not the same thing for Cutter Crawford here with Boston. Losing record, 0-2 at Fenway in his 2 starts. His home ERA is a little higher. And Boston's just not, you're right, offensively, they're in the doldrums. It's been 3 runs or less ad nauseum for the Boston Red Sox in recent games. So totally agree. I mean, they're worth a shot here. First 5 full game split money line. I got plus 180 for first 5 and plus 195 for full game. Great prices.
Yeah, I agree there. The lines move towards the Rockies too, and it just it's just the Red Sox are a 500 ball club. They're the epitome of it. They can go out there, beat the Yankees in a series, and then they can come back and lose to the Rockies in a series. This is what they do. When they play the Yankees again this coming up weekend, and guess what side I'm going to be on? I'll be on the Red Sox. I'll be very interested to see it. And of course, by the way, just a note, Garrett Cole pitching against the Mets, just, casually avoiding the Red Sox again, because he knows. He knows. Next game on our slate here. Speaking of the Mets and Yankees, let's talk about the first game of the Subway Series. I wish they would play 3 games because these are the two of the top 3 most volatile fan bases. They overreact to everything, as we all know, and the Red Sox are up there as well. So don't think this is just a Yankees New York thing, but both teams are in the doldrums. Both teams don't have their star players. I should have bet the under here when it opened at 8, but I lean under here again at 7.5 here. And I feel like Noli knows with all the unders that I've been betting recently. So shout out to Noli. 60% of the bets on the over, only 45% of the money, about still 50-50. And in the line, it allegedly has gone up. It was 8. Actually, no, yeah. I had an 8. Action had it open at 7. That's interesting. So I guess I've had it going down. But I think this game goes under here again. Mad Max pitches a lot better at home. I don't believe in Luis Severino even a little bit, but the Mets without Pete Alonso is just not that good of a lineup. Just really not that good of a lineup. So I think he can take care of them. And the Yankees are just horrible without Judge. And did you see, I don't know if you saw this, Bobano, Judge potentially, they said like, oh, he'll come back before the All-Star break. And I was like, what? Before the All-Star break? That's a long time from now. They're putting that expanded timeline, and if they said that he sprained his toe or whatever, and I've been telling everyone for weeks that toe was 100% broken. Who knows? Who knows what happened? But yeah, his toe is 100% broken. So Judge not going to be in this lineup for a little bit. What are the Yankees going to do here, Bobano?
Yeah, for me, it's Scherzer over strikeouts. Say what you will. He got, I think, ripped apart a little bit last start, and he still had a bunch of strikeouts against Atlanta. So, and Atlanta's a pretty damn good offense and lineup. So, now a depleted Yankees lineup hasn't been hitting nearly as well. I think it's a good spot for Scherzer. That's the only bet for me. I don't want to lay $1.60 with the Mets. No way, even against a depleted Yankees lineup. So this is the best path. Scherzer over strikeouts, over 6.5.
Yeah, this line's gone up. Minus 140 last night, up to minus 160 now.
Yep.
It's Scherzer, so I can understand. And like we keep saying, the Yankees. I said this, and it makes me feel ugly saying it, Bobano, but Aaron Judge is easily the most important player to his baseball team. Without Aaron Judge, the Yankees are just trash, and they're 500 ball club, which in the AL East is a last place squad. So I don't believe in them. I don't think this is. I don't think they're going to score many runs, and I think they take the under here as well. And I'm very interested tomorrow. It's Verlander versus Cole. Are we going to get a 6.5 there? What the hell are we going to get for a total there? I'll be very interested to see. Milwaukee, Minnesota Twins next game up. And I've got 2 bets here. I've kind of stayed in my lane, just kind of betting the teams that I enjoy betting, I guess. I don't know. Recently, it's been nice. This one, I kind of stepped out and I said, you know what? I'm going to trust my close personal friend. I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to trust my close personal friend, Pablo Lopez. This is a Minnesota Twins team that I'm the only Twins guy on the internet, I guess. I don't know what it is, Bobano. I thought this Twins team was going to win the division. I still think they're going to win the division, even if, the Guardians are coming back, et cetera, et cetera. The White Sox had their moment in the sun for 2 seconds, et cetera. But I believe in this Twins team. I like my guy, Pablo Lopez, a lot. And I think this Brewers team is overrated. I think this team stinks. And Corbin Burns has just been up and down all year. Had a great start last time out against the Orioles. 8 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs there. I don't think he replicates it here. The market also gives me a little support here. 38% of the bets and 79% of the money on the Twins here. Totals wise, real quick, a bunch of people betting the under for obvious reasons. 63% of the bets and 72% of the money on the under here. Stayed at 7.5 for me, Bobano. So that might be a red flag, all that money and no movement there. So I kind of lean over, honestly, but I think the Twins get this game done. So I took Minnesota first 5 in full game here with the old Bobano split, as we call it around here. -117 and -120 first 5.
Yeah, I mean, I like Twins. I like under. I like strikeout props for both of these pitchers, actually. Corbin Burns and Pablo Lopez. I don't think either lineup's going to have a ton of success tonight against the opposing pitcher. Lopez, it's over 7.5 strikeouts plus 120. Burns, I laid some chalk -155 over 6.5 strikeouts. I think it's going to be a lot of Ks tonight. Both sides. These are both strikeout pitchers. These are both lineups capable of striking out repeatedly. But I do think the Twins, is a little cheap on them. Remember, they played a pretty good series against Toronto over the weekend. I think they -120 at home for them. Reasonable price. So Twins under, both strikeout props for both of the starters here.
You and Rocco Rogers right there in lockstep there. Rocco dropping the Ks.
There's another game I have 2K props, both pitchers. That's coming up later.
Oh, I might have a guess. I feel like it's this next game coming up, perhaps. Let's see it. Giants Cardinals here. Jack Flaherty, Alex Cobb, perhaps. No,
just one here.
Okay,
just one here.
Jack Flaherty strikeouts then is my guess here. And he's been phenomenal.
We have a winner.
It's funny. I really liked Flaherty for the last 3 years. And it's like he'll come back, get hurt, etc. And then he's last year he finally built up, pitched well, and ended the season. Didn't pitch well. He pitched, I should say. And now he's kind of come on the other side, and he's coming back to his peak form here of being Jack Flaherty. And obviously the Cardinals need that more than need anything. They just need starting pitchers desperately. And I guess the Cubs and the Cardinals don't trade. But that Marcus Stroman is now the hot name on the free agency wire and trade market here, because the Cubs, I find it very fascinating. The Cubs and him engaged in contract talks, and he tweeted himself out. They're just not coming to the table here. So love you, Chicago, but the writing is on the wall. There we go. There's a saying I was trying to go with there. So I'm really interested to see where he goes, but the Cardinals need pitching, and if they want to come back in this division, they need it bad. And Flaherty's the only one they really have that's, Miles Michaelis is pretty good too, but Flaherty and him are the 2 guys they can count on. I like the Giants here. I like the Cardinals here, excuse me. And I also enjoy that the Cardinals bats have finally come back. It's so ebb and flow with them. They just come hot, good cold, come hot. Now they're back in a hot streak. Third last 13 days this whole month. Third against righties, 127 weighted runs created plus. So I had nothing on the game. I passed market wise real quick before I pass it off to you, Bobano. Sidewise, 55% of bets, 64% of the money on the Cardinals. Makes sense. Not enough of a split for me to bet it. And totals wise here, pretty surprising where this total has gone, and it's risen as well. I had this opening at 8.5, now at a 9. 73% of the bets and 90% of the money on the over here. The market moving it accordingly. So I lean over here as well, but nothing here for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised by that. I think it is blowing out the wind at Busch Stadium tonight, but certainly from a form perspective, I not necessarily running to bet the over here, especially with Flaherty. These tremendous last 3 starts of his, 1 run or less in 3 consecutive outings. The one problem I have, and I kind of think Cobb could get over his strikeout prop too, but I mean, he's had 8, 5, 7, 7 in his last 4 starts, but a couple of those were rough. And St. Louis, you look at them of late, the strikeout numbers have dipped just a little bit compared to the full season. So, and so they're not striking out as much. So, I did give Cobb some consideration for the over strikeout prop. I definitely like Flaherty over strikeouts here for St. Louis, over 5.5, minus 115. I don't have anything on the side here, but lean St. Louis. And San Francisco, by the way, continues to be a great strikeout prop target. Definitely a team that swings and misses quite a bit. Probably a good night for Flaherty in that regard.
Okay, beautiful notes there. Shout out to Jake Burns for dropping his Cardinals facts in there as well, and Jared Jones liking that first 5 under here. It's surprising to me as well about this total. I expect to go under here, and this is all the money on the over. So it's pretty shocking, but I guess I lean over just the market. Next game, and I can be quick about this one. I had John Gray, obviously, like we all did, and we had a surprise Cody Bradford appear here, a lefty against the Angels. No thanks. I felt very smart last night when I said that I think this is the Angels. Like, you have to come out and play well in this series to feel like you're actually in this race, even though they're kind of just like an imposter, like a 500 ball club, just like the Red Sox are really. They had to come out and make a statement. Shohei Ohtani put the whole fucking team on his back, and shout to them. But I think they get the win here again, honestly. I'm not going to make the bet. I'm, maybe just being safe, trying to be smarter here. Jaime Barria has been great in his few starts, but when is that going to last? And I just don't trust Cody Bradford. So it feels square to say over here, but that's what I lean. Sidewise, real quick. Let's see here. I'm on total. Sidewise, there we go. 57% of bets, 64% of the money on the Angels here. And predictably, everyone on the over there, 60% of the money and 81% of the tickets. Sorry, 81% of the money, 60% of tickets on the over there too. So nothing here for me, Bobana. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of lean Angels, but I like the over again. I was on the over last night with these 2 teams, and I'm not really. I don't trust Bradford. I know that for sure. Not exactly a big fan of what I've seen. He's not going to eat up a ton of innings either, and that's a problem. You're going to see a lot of the Texas bullpen, which is still the one area of this team I've got some concerns about long term.
It's
even though
really bad
season. Yeah, I mean they're not a bullpen I trust. On the flip side, look. Jaime Barria has been really solid, but this is a different kind of lineup than he's faced. Let's be real, though, with Barria, right? He's faced the Red Sox. He's faced the White Sox. He's faced the Cubs. Come on. I mean, that's a sisters of the poor as far as quality lineups are concerned that Barria's faced here lately. This is a real lineup that he's going to play now on the road against Texas. So I project some rougher roads tonight for Barria in this game. So I still lean Angels because I do think I still like him better than Bradford, but I could see Texas getting to him a little bit because, I mean, the quality and the difficulty of competition and opposition gets a lot stronger and tougher tonight facing a team like Texas compared to Cubs and White Sox and Red Sox and some of these terrible lineups he's faced lately. So for that reason, I like the over.
Yeah, this game has over written all over it, really. I mean, yeah, I think everyone's right about Berea. His opponents haven't been great. He's going to face the best lineup in baseball here,
Texas
arguably.
knows him, divisional foe this last few years as well.
Exactly. And then again, any lefty against the Angels is very susceptible. So I lean over here too, but total a little bit too high for me. I also consider a first five over here too, but I'd rather have the full game so you can take the whole Rangers bullpen, I guess. So yeah, pass game for me, Bobano liking the over. Let's go to Pirates versus the Cubbies here. And I lean for sure to the Pirates. The market has moved that way. The Cubs I should say this month against righties, dead last, 46 weighted runs created plus. There's just no way I'm backing that. The Pirates are back in first place. Let me refresh my standings here because they're frisky, man. They hit their stride again here. Ninth last this month, 114 weighted runs created plus. They're very frisky. A whole game up, by the way, 7-3 their last 10, and they are the only squad with a positive run differential in the NL Central. But unfortunately for them, it's only +2, so it's tough to back the Pirates at all times. But I lean that way here. I just passed money and market wise here for you guys that like this stuff. And yeah, obviously I love it too, so I shouldn't say that. But 57% of the bets and 76% of the money on the Pirates here. Unsurprisingly, there to me, total 71%, excuse me, 71% of the tickets, 63% of the money on the over there as well. Yeah, guys, easy pass game for me, honestly, but I definitely lean Pirates. First place ball club.
Yeah, I have a small bet on the over, but I have more on Pittsburgh. +110 full game team total for Pittsburgh, over 3.5 at -155. A little juicy, but over 3.5 with their team total. And I also took a earned runs prop for Jamison Tyone, over 2.5 earned runs allowed in this game. Another different way to go about it. I've got a couple of those actually on the card as well. Earned runs prop. There's a couple more I'm on as well later on, but I don't trust Tyone. I know he pitched, I guess against the Angels, he was a little bit better, but it's not saying much. I don't trust him here. Ortiz has actually been somewhat solid at times, been better than I expected. All I see Tyone on the mound. I see a Cubs team that hasn't hit a lick in weeks, and I see them favored. Not in my mind. Pittsburgh for me.
Agreed. I lean Pirates. I'm not going to make a bet on it. And by the way, that's a really low 2 earned run. Well, 3, I guess. 3 earned runs.
Give up 3.
Yeah. For the Tyone.
Yeah.
I like that look. There. Let's move on. Bum fight here. But boy, do I love Jordan Lyles, man. It's so funny. And obviously,
they still haven't won a game with him starting this year.
Exactly. That's the best part about it. I don't love backing him. I just love looking at his box score and just looking at all the L's. It's just no games, none. Even the games he pitches well, they lose. It's just so funny to me. And again, I want him to lose every single start this year. That would be my ideal scenario for Jordan Lyles. I just want to see it so I can laugh. I don't believe he wins this start, honestly. It was the line flipped here as well from the Royals to the Reds from last night, or from, I guess, this morning. I like the Reds here. I'm not going to back them because, again, trying to keep things tight. I've got my bets in that I like, and I'm going to ride with them here today. But I absolutely lean Reds. Market-wise, let's see what they have to say about this. Again, on the total, let's see. Reds, Royals. Yeah, it makes sense. Again, I mean, 83% of the bets and 71% of the money on the Reds here. Same thing with the total over, 79%, 73% of the money on the over here. I agree wholeheartedly. I lean towards the Reds, but I'm not going to make a move on it. And by the way, Reds, last 2 weeks against righties. Sorry, I guess this whole month. I keep saying last 2 weeks, but I should say this month of June. 13th against them, 101 weighted runs created plus. Pretty good, excuse me, for what the Cincinnati Reds are compared to the horrible lefty numbers of the Royals. Last 2 weeks, aka the months of June, I should keep saying that. 51 weighted runs created plus and 162 plate appearances. So just bad, just really bad. So nothing here for me.
Yeah, all you need to see is that extra inning debacle last night with Kansas City. They have second and third, one out, couldn't score, couldn't win the game. Terrible. I'll take it though because I was on Cincinnati. So of course I'm on the Reds here. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I've been riding the Red. The Reds going back to that Dodger series where they showed me a lot of moxie. The call up of Ellie De La Cruz is certainly giving them some life. Not to mention that the other kids that they called up recently has also been hitting a lot better for them lately too. So they got some young blood now. They've got some great energy. They're getting good enough pitching. And the offense is starting to come to life. India's continuing to have a nice season for them as well. Up in the lineup, Tyler Stevenson's, I think one of the better hitting catchers in baseball. So, there's a lot to like with this Cincy team. Brandon Williamson, not exactly someone you trust, but, he was a little bit better in his last start. This is more about we can't trust Jordan Lyles. He's been more bad than good. And you're right, even the odd decent outing he's had, they still haven't won. I like Cincy first 5, Cincy full game, and I like Jordan Lyles over 2.5 earned runs in this game tonight as well, which you can get around minus 140.
Makes sense to me. It's a crazy low number. Are most of those 2.5, Bobano?
Most of them are, yeah. Most of them are. There's some 1.5s. There's the odd 3.5 when it's a really bad pitcher on the mound.
That's what I would figure right here. Sheesh.
Yeah, 2.5. Yep. There's another one later on. We'll talk about it. Over 2.5 earned runs that I'm on tonight later on.
All right, beautiful. Reds there, leaning there. Shout out to 2.5 earned runs for Jordan Lyles. Let's go to the other World Series rematch. A fun one. Nationals Astros here. Obviously, both of these teams have taken different directions since that moment. It's very funny. Off the top of my head, Bobano, I think there's only 2 players from that team on the Nationals still. 3, I guess. Doolittle, I think, is still in the Nationals. Corbin, obviously. And then Victor Robles he's still on the Nationals. I'm trying to figure all this shit out because you guys can tell how much Nationals baseball I take in. I just nothing to do with this game, but I'll be watching. Well, I won't be watching because of blackouts, but I'll be watching just to see the vibes there, to see what happens, what kind of crowd the Astros get to see this World Series that really slipped through their fingers, and they cheated to get to. Obviously, the Nationals. The baseball world should commend the Nationals for what they did, because they took down the cheating Astros. And if they didn't, that cheating scandal would have been so much bigger. It would have been very, very much interesting to watch what would happen there. So I had nothing on this game, really, Bobana. What do you think?
Yeah, I like 2 bet. I like Hunter Brown over strikeouts. I like this young kid. He's worked his way through the organization, earned this opportunity to be in the rotation. He's been solid. I like it's over 1.5 over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 110 for Hunter Brown in this game. And I also like Astros team total over 4.5, minus 140. I don't want to guess how the Nationals go against Hunter Brown. But I do think the Astros can do damage. They hit lefties well. Patrick Corbin hasn't been as bad as last year, and hasn't been as bad maybe as he was early in the season. But I think this is definitely a spot where the Astros are going to be able to do some damage. And this is one of those I mentioned, Jose, where we do have a 3.5 as far as the earned runs prop for Patrick Corbin tonight. So finally, there's one that's well priced. So for me, Astros team total over 4.5, and that Brown over 5.5 strikeouts.
That's hilarious. That makes sense. The Astros, by the way, best team against lefties this month so far. 107 weighted runs created plus. Market wise, again, it's kind of tough to gauge the market with such a big favorite. But 65% of the bets on the Astros, only 27% of the money on them. Bigger bets on the Nationals here. The sharps, I guess, are on the Nationals. And the total wise, everyone on the over. 87% of the bets on the over. 72% of the cash on the over. So I guess I lean that way, perhaps. But again, really nothing doing in that game for me. It's just too big of a favorite there. And by the way, it's Lane Thomas, Luis Garcia. Yeah, there's not a soul on this starting lineup for the Nationals that was in that World Series. And it's only lone Patrick Corbin, which is crazy to think about. I mean, and someone mentioned Steven Strasburg. I don't even count him. I think he left it all out for that World Series. And I hope that they build him a statue and retire his number in Washington because it's crazy. Bobano, here's something funny. Since I think it was since their careers have started, who has thrown more innings, Steven Strasburg or Jacob deGrom?
Yeah, Strasburg.
Yeah, Strasburg easily.
Yep.
It's shocking. It's shocking to say that too, because we haven't seen Strasburg in fucking 5 years now or whatever it's been. But
I mean, poor guy with the fucking nerve damage. I mean, it's his career is probably over. But
yeah, that's what I assume. He's probably done. He's just going to collect checks now from the Nationals. So shout to him. But yeah, it's crazy to think about that. Strasburg, once one a really, really durable pitcher, just done now, and more innings than deGrom still. It's just fun to say. All right, let's move on. Miami, Seattle here. Everyone saw this line movement, I guess, coming because a lot of people, I guess Peter liked the Seattle Mariners here, I believe. Right? Was it the Seattle Mariners? I don't even remember what he was on, I guess. They're both M's teams. Fucked me up, I guess. But I really thought that the Mariners would get some money here. Court Kirby coming off of a shit start. And we all kind of see what the Marlins are doing. They're a good story right now. They finally kind of figure out some hitting. But I don't think they're a for real ball club. I think they fall off eventually. And shout out to Kim Ang, their GM, who I'm sure just gets a lot of shit, partially because she's a woman doing a GM job. I wouldn't be surprised at all there. And she's put up pretty good baseball team. I have no complaints about this team. And obviously the hitting sucks, but they found guys like Soler, De La Cruz to finally fucking be good. And Jazz Chisholm, their best player, is never playing. They're still second in the NL East, which is arguably the second best division in baseball. So I commend the Miami Marlins for what they're doing, but I think they get hammered tonight. Market-wise, 51% of bets on the Marlins, but 94% of the money on the Marlins here. Mariners there. Mariners. Big bets here on the Mariners. I keep saying Marlins because all the M's here. Totals wise here, let's go to that. Everyone on the under. The total in the market has not shown any fear, it seems, because had a 7 here on action opening. 67% of the bets and 93% of the money on the under there. No movement at all. So honestly, Bobano, I'd take the Mariners and I'd take the over here. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, the only thing I like here, I actually like Cabrera over strikeouts for Miami. I think he's definitely someone that can get some swings and misses from a Seattle lineup. That look, if Luzardo doesn't give up the big blasts, I would have cashed Luzardo over strikeouts last night, and because he was going to be on his way. But when you get bombed and 6 runs are on the board after 2 innings, you're not going to last long. So he didn't last long enough to see that strikeout prop go over. Hopefully Cabrera avoids a similar fate. If he does, he can get swings and misses, I believe, from this Seattle lineup. But that being said, I like Kirby, and I think Kirby is going to bounce back, and this is a lineup I think he can handle, especially at home. So I'd actually lean under, but 7. I mean, I don't bet unders very often at all as it is. I mean, you're not going to see me betting one under either at 7. But I am on Cabrera here, over 6.5 strikeouts at even money.
I think it'll be interesting, and it'll be interesting how he battles his blister. Rocco Rogers exclaiming very loudly that he left his last game with a blister. All these baseball teams need to come to me. I got some magical blister cream. Whenever the rare times I get a blister, that thing's gone in 2 days.
Suck it up and pitch. That's the way I got to say. Come on, blisters.
Now let's see it today from Edward Cabrera. Let's move on. Philadelphia, Arizona. I like this series. This series got a little spicy. Yesterday, they hit Corbin Carroll on back-to-back ABs. By the way, I have not done enough Corbin Carroll watching, obviously. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's on a tear.
Yeah, his numbers are ridiculous. He is gonna run away with NL Rookie of the Year. I thought James Outman had a chance. But no, it's going to be Corbin Carroll's award, and Elliot De La Cruz can make all the noise he wants. But Corbin Carroll is putting up numbers that guys like Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis put up when they first came up. So yeah, I'm shout out to Corbin Carroll here. Plain and simply, Bobano, I like the Diamondbacks here, plus money, especially at home. I know Zach Wheeler is supposed to be good and all this stuff, and signed blah blah blah. But I just don't trust Zach Wheeler at the end of the day. I want to ask you this question as well, Bobano. As I'll mention real quick, Wheeler's home road splits again. This has been a thing for the last 2 years. 43 innings pitched at home, 2.93 ERA, 33 innings pitched on the road, a 5.18 ERA. Bobano, what team would you rather be? What team do you think is going to be better in the half of the season, whatever? The Phillies or the Mets?
I don't know. The Mets should be better than this, but it's a tough question. I'm going to say Mets just because they've bottomed out already. I think the Phillies still could get worse.
It's tough, I agree with you. I think Mets too, but this Phillies team, I don't know what it is. Their lineup is finally starting to hit a little bit. Shout out to JT Realmuto for hitting a cycle the other day. I think it was yesterday, actually. He got the cycle. Might obviously bet his under total bases today. It's just like a basketball player going for 40 the previous night. You bet his total under. But I just don't believe in this Philly squad, really. And I don't know what it is. I don't trust Nola, who's been one of the biggest player disappointments for me, Bobano, this season. A guy that's supposed to try to go get his money this offseason, just shitting down his pants. And I don't trust Zach Wheeler away from Citizens Bank Park. And maybe this is all just regular season because in the playoffs, Zach Wheeler was one of the best pitchers in baseball. So we'll see here, but I lean Diamondbacks. What do you have on this one, Bobano?
Yeah, I like the over. Again, with these two teams. It was an over for me with the Phillies and Diamondbacks. Last night, I'm on over 8.5, minus 120. Shop around. There are still a couple 8.5s. A lot of other books have 9, but try to find an 8.5 if you can. You're right. Wheeler on the road is not someone I have quite the same amount of confidence in. All the numbers, actually, the only thing that's gone up on the road is the strikeout numbers, but runs allowed have gone up on the road big time. For him, his hits allowed go up to 10 per game on the road. Big increase from his overall numbers and especially his home numbers. So again, Wheeler just not quite that same pitcher away from Citizens Bank. And I'm not a big Zach Davies fan. 6.75 ERA for him in Zona this year, which isn't anything great. He actually faced the Phillies in May and gave up 4 runs and 8 hits in 6 innings, which isn't great by any stretch of the imagination. And you look at what he's done again here at home, it hasn't been nearly as good. Colorado roughed him up. Dodgers roughed him up as well in his last couple of home starts this season. So I like over 8.5. Looks a little bit low here.
Beautiful. Beautiful work there, Bobano, over there for you. By the way, don't look now, but the Arizona Diamondbacks have the best record in the National League. So pretty shocking to say that so deep in the season.
Torey Lovello, good job.
Yep, former Red Sox.
Yep.
Former Red Sox assistant coach. Kind of, sort of wish he was still on the Red Sox staff. Let's talk about this game. One of the more interesting games on the card, and we've had a pitching change in this game too, unfortunately. God, I've had such a horrible time with this guy, Bobano. Fujinami pitching for the A's here. A little late switch from Hogan Harris. I thought, again, this is just my fascination with Japanese players, I guess. I thought Fuji was going to come in and want to be one of the best low-key signings of the league, and he has just been horrible. Just flat. Like, one of the worst pitchers I have ever seen just come over, and he throws so hard. He throws 100, 102, but he was just so bad to start off the season. Like, it's
proof that throwing gas doesn't mean you're a good pitcher.
Yes, it was appalling. Yeah. And after the first couple of starts, I was like, all right, he's clearly a reliever. Let's get this through. He's clearly a reliever. And since going to the bullpen, he's been fine. Look at his last 3 starts. He only pitched 1 batter, got him out though. But of course, 2 walks in that 1 1/3 inning pitch there. An inning, 4 batters faced, a strikeout and a walk. And 1 2/3, 1 hit, 2 walks and a strikeout. He is just wild, and I can't get there. But luckily for me, I was never going to back the Oakland A's pitcher in this. And Hogan Harris allegedly is still the primary. So does it affect the capping that much? I guess not. I just don't trust Fuji at the end of the day. But luckily for me, again, that doesn't affect my cap of the ball game. I've said this like 4 times now, and this is going to be the last time I mention it. But this is the reverse boycott game for the A's here. This stadium, I think, is going to be pretty decently packed with A's fans coming in here, protesting the owners, trying to get people to sell. And it's very interesting, Bobano. I'm very interested to see how this works out for them, because we know Vegas now is dragging their feet with all this. This is a like a grassroots display of what the next owner could get if he bought this team. And I find that to be very interesting. They're trying to like step up and show like, hey, this is us. We're blah, blah, blah. We have all this fan support, and this could be yours. Just buy this team. And I thought I think that's really cool. And I wonder how that's going to go. I hope they do stay in Oakland now. And I hope the numbers do increase here. But all that to say is I think the fan base comes out, gives them energy. I like the A's first 5 team total over 1.5, which I now have to rebet. And fucking annoyingly enough, Bobano, I'm getting just absolutely fucked on these new lines. I'm getting A's team total over 3.5 at -110, which I got at +110 earlier today, which is extremely annoying. And first 5 team total, if I want to rebet it again, I have to bet it at -130. And I got that at -115 earlier today. So very frustrating on that aspect. So I'll see if I rebet the team first 5, but I'm on team total over 3.5 here, Bobana. What do you think?
They've been this. I never would have thought I would have said this at any point this year, but I've cashed in with multiple games now on Oakland. And it started with the 2 games they won against Pittsburgh, where I saw them beat up the Pirates the last 2 games of that series. I'm like, wow, they've actually won 2 in a row. Interesting. Big dogs, both of those games. Then they went into Milwaukee, and that's when I caught on. And I'm like, wait a minute. They've won 2 in a row. They've got a little something here. Do we really need to be laying -250 with Adrian Hauser and the Milwaukee Brewers? And I'm like, I'm betting Oakland here, first 5 full game. And I won. So I said, okay, I'm going to come back on Saturday against Milwaukee with this Oakland team. And in that game, again, I was shocked that Peralta against JP Sears, who's suddenly pitching a little bit better, and here's Milwaukee -200 or so again. So I'm going to take Oakland again, and sure enough, Oakland won 8-6 in that game, and plus the game with Blackburn against Tehran, which was a pitcher's duel. I was on Oakland there as well. First 5 full game split. They got it done. Last night, I actually stayed off it because I didn't trust Caprillion at all. And yet he even pitched okay. He gave up that 3-run blast to, hey, Siri, get me a home run. And Siri did that. Other than that, though, Caprillion pitched well, and Oakland won again. So I only stayed off it. I was definitely leaning Oakland again, but I stayed off it because I didn't trust Caprillion. I am back on Oakland here. First 5 full game split. I mean, they've got a little something going. They've won 6 in a row. And you look at the what's happened. Why is that? Their pitching's been a little bit better, but they're crushing the baseball. Other than the 2-run output against Milwaukee, 11, 9, 5, 8, 4. I mean, this lineup is starting to hit the baseball a little bit. And again, they won the opener last night. I know they're facing an excellent Tampa Bay team. Hogan Harris can be a little up and down. That's a concern, but I'm just riding it at this point. And with the atmosphere, quote unquote atmosphere, it's at least going to be a better atmosphere for what Oakland usually gets. I'd expect them to want to have another good game here. And so I like Oakland. First 5 full game. Going to ride it back on the well again. They've won 6 in a row. And I also like this over because I do think we're going to see both lineups come to life here over 9.
And Steve G talking about the Tropicana, by the way, I think they still have to fund it. Steve G is the issue. There have been, I'm not, I don't fucking care too much about this. You might know more than me, Steve G, but the Vegas like Senate shit, they've been like fighting about how much money public funding is going to come from that, et cetera, et cetera. Billionaires should pay for their own fucking stadiums, blah, blah, blah. Everyone gets all that. So that's the holdup. They know where it's going to go, but how is it going to get paid for? And if it doesn't get paid for, then yeah. But I think those 12,000, and because Rick J said 12,000 tickets sold, those 12,000 fans, and obviously still plenty of time to sell tickets, but those 12,000 are going to send a lot louder than 12,000 fans. I think this is going to be a good game. This is going to be a fun game. So I will go with the team total, and I'll rebet the first 5 team total. I mean, minus 130, whatever. It pisses me off that I'm gonna have to do that shit, but whatever. Let's move on. Cleveland, San Diego Padres here. A good matchup. I'll be honest. A very interesting matchup here because the Guardians are a solid squad, and the Padres have been the most disappointing team in baseball easily. It's them and the Mets, just because of all the money they spent. I 100% thought this line was going to be closer than it was. And I have not bet the Guardians here, but I 1,000% lean their way. Tanner Bybee has just been good since he's been here, and that's been the him and Logan Allen have been the catalyst of like them staying afloat because they've lost so much of their rotation. You know, like Zach Plesac, DFA, no one wants him. And Savali hurt. Cal Quantrill hurt. And if it wasn't for those guys, this team would be in a bad shape. So I like Bybee and what he's done. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. One of them earned against the Red Sox last time out. The Red Sox can't hit those. So is that impressive? I don't know. Minnesota before that, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. That's really all I need. 5 innings, give it to the bullpen. The Guardians bullpen's elite. So I like the Guardians here a lot. And I've just faded Joe Musgrove a lot this year. And we all know he's a really, really good pitcher. And these Guardians bats are tough to back here. And that's primarily why I'm not on it. I don't trust the Guardians bats here, but I absolutely lean Guardians. Money wise here, just to keep everyone up to date, 54% of the tickets on the Guardians, 53% of the money on the Guardians. So nothing you can really glean from that. And of course, predictably, everyone betting the under here. 76% of the tickets and 92% of the money on the under here. So what do you think, Bobana?
Yeah, that's probably the bet is the under. I definitely lean Cleveland too, but and I like Bybee. I like Bybee over strikeouts. This is the other game. I like both pitchers over strikeouts. I like Musgrove too for San Diego over strikeouts here in this game. Both of these pitchers, I think, can hit their K prop. Bybee is over 4.5 strikeouts here at minus 135. Musgrove over 4.5 strikeouts, a little juicier at minus 155, but I think they both get to 5 Ks. I think neither lineup has a great deal of success tonight. I definitely lean Cleveland, but I don't trust their bats at all. And if you look at Musgrove the last 3 starts, he's been really, really good. For San Diego, really starting to round into form. So I would lean under, and I like the strikeout props for both pitchers here, Bybee and Musgrove.
All right. Wow, this is both strikeout props. Interesting. What was the number you got on Bybee, by the way?
4.5 minus 135.
And then like 6.5 on Musgrove?
No, it's actually 4.5, but juice minus 155. Okay. Some books have 5.5 plus money, so shop around.
Yep. I guess that makes sense. The Guardians aren't a strikeout team. So that makes sense. Okay. Beautiful work there, Bobana. 2 strikeout props there for Bobana. Let's move into our last game of the day. And what a snoozer this is, Bobana. I'm kind of glad. I really, really love when two teams I don't like betting on play each other, because I can just be like, you know what? I don't have to worry about this. I'm not going to watch this game. I don't fucking care. Lance Lynn. An enigma, to say the least. A guy that, you know, if you back him and you win with him, you like him. Or if you back him and he shits his pants, you hate him. I just really can never get there with Lynn. I bet him once this year, and I got lucky because the market was really telling me to bet him that day, and I cashed. And every other bet I've had on the White Sox when he pitches or against the White Sox is usually against him, I should say. And Tony Gonsolin's a guy I faded too, and much to my chagrin, because he's been phenomenal. And, you know, I know he gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned against the Reds last time out, but this is funny to say in the year of our Lord 2023. The Reds offense is so much better than the White Sox. And that's saying something. 24th this month, I should say, again, 77 weighted runs created plus, for the White Sox. Full season, they're 82, 28th. Just nothing here for me. This should be a Dodgers beat the hell out of them spot, but I've got nothing.
Yeah, there's a couple that I like here. I mean, I like over 8.5, minus 120 for sure. in this game. I think they're going to, and most of the runs will be the Dodgers. And this is the other earned runs prop for me here. Lance Lynn, over 2.5 earned runs, -145. So I think, again, to ask Lance Lynn right now to give up 3 runs, it's not asking a lot. Like I said, I think we're going to see 6-3, something like that. 6-2, 6 or 6-3 for the Dodgers here, maybe 7-3. But I think it gets over 8.5. It's 9 in some spots, still a couple 8.5s out there. So make sure you shop around. But I like over 8.5. Gonsolin, keep in mind, has pitched pretty well. And again, a little rougher time of it against the Reds last out, but at Dodger Stadium, he's pitched pretty well. You can't always trust the White Sox bats to hit, but I will go with the 8.5 over. I probably like that earned runs prop even more, though. Focusing more on the Dodgers doing most of the damage. Lance Lynn over 2.5 strikeout. It's not 2.5 strikeouts, 2.5 earned runs allowed, -145. You're right. And somewhat Rocco in the chat's probably right about, I think, JD Martinez, Freddie Freeman, those 2 guys in particular, their props worth a look tonight.
Steve G, I'd like to hear more about your Dodgers experience. I'd love to hear more about that, my man. I mean, we're all on the kind of the same page here. I think Mr. Heat, shout out to you, is the only person on the Sox first 5 plus a half there. Shout out to Nasty Nate joining us here. And this is a rare market, Bobano, because it feels like most of the big dogs have less bets but more money on them. This is one where it's actually not the case. 92% of the bets and 65% of the money on the Dodgers here. And shockingly enough, it's moved towards the White Sox. I had this at -210 last night. Now it's -200. It's an interesting note. I don't know what to make of that. Total-wise, everyone on the over. 99% of the money on the over. 60% of the tickets on the over. So gigantic, well, I wouldn't say gigantic, but big bets on the over here. I'll just pass. So I hope you over boys cash here as well. All right, Bobano, let's recap our action here. And this is a pivotal day for Jose Bouquett. Will I go into the positive unit territory today? It'll be very interesting to watch. So keep me in your thoughts and prayers tonight as you watch all this baseball. I'll start off here, Bobano. I tweeted out all this action earlier, so it won't be any different here. But I'll just recap. Rockies, Red Sox under 10 -118. That was the first bet I made last night, and I will probably make that bet again here after the game. I would love to see what the lines are. I haven't seen who the Red Sox and Rockies are pitching tomorrow, but I will probably be on the under yet again. Rockies first 5 money line +184, and Rockies Red Sox first 5 under 5.5 -110. Minnesota double up first 5 money line -120, full game money line -117, and the Oakland A's double up, which I have to rebet, unfortunately, because of a pitcher change there. Fujinami pitching now. Shout out to Shintaro. Oakland A's team total over 3.5 -110. And first 5 team total over 1.5 -130. So, Bobano, what are you on?
All right. It is a big card, as it usually is. Let's roll. Sides and totals first, then we'll do the props. Pittsburgh +110 full game. Pittsburgh team total over 3.5 -155. And Pittsburgh Cubs over 8.5 -120. Philadelphia, Arizona over 8.5 -120. Toronto -110. LA Angels, Texas over 9.5 -115. Oakland first 5 +170. Oakland +186 full game split. Tampa Bay, Oakland over 8.5 -125. Colorado +180 first 5. Colorado +195 full game split. Cincinnati -105 first 5. Cincinnati -108 full game split. Cincinnati team total over 4.5 -130. Houston team total over 4.5 -140. And White Sox Dodgers over 8.5 -120. And then the props. We've got Jack Flaherty over 5.5 strikeouts for St. Louis. Vlad Jr. over 1.5 total bases -115 and home run +400. Chris Bassett over 4.5 strikeouts for Toronto -112. We've got Spencer Strider, Atlanta, over 8.5 strikeouts, -145. Max Scherzer, New York Mets, over 6.5 strikeouts, -145. Corbin Burns, Milwaukee, over 6.5 strikeouts, -155. Pablo Lopez, Minnesota Twins, over 7.5 strikeouts, +120. Ellie De La Cruz, Cincinnati, over 1.5 total bases, +125. And the home run prop, +560. It's a great matchup for him against Lyles. Jordan Lyles, over 2.5 earned runs, -145. Hunter Brown, over 5.5 strikeouts, -110. Edward Cabrera, over 6.5 strikeouts, +108 for Miami. Tanner Bybee, Cleveland, over 4.5 strikeouts, -135. Joe Musgrove, San Diego, over 4.5 strikeouts, -155. Lance Lynn, over 2.5 earned runs, -145 for the White Sox. There you go.
Brad Watson says it best. Wow, a lot of bets.
A lot. Yep.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's what we expect from you, Bobana. We love to see it as well. It's very fun. 191 and 194. Down 3.65 units on the year. Need a winning day today to keep this rolling. It's going to be a lot of fun watching these ball games. It's going to be sweaty, to say the least. Again, keep me in your T's and P's today as we traverse this land of baseball gambling. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Bobano, appreciate you as always for joining us. It's a great time when you're on the program. I like having you on every week. It keeps the vibes fresh as always. Bobano, when's the next time we can see you?
It's going to be probably next Tuesday, right here on Say 8 Plays. I won't be back with betting with the bag until the following week, June 23rd. So yeah, next Tuesday we'll be right back here. And good luck on your trek to profitability. You're getting close.
Well, Bobano, I'll ask you this. I'll pressure you on here. If you're not doing anything on Sunday morning, I will. I have no guests booked yet. I'd love to have you on. We can double up with you here on Sunday morning.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'll let me know later in the week, and we'll see if we can make it happen.
Yes, for sure. But yes, Bobano potentially on Sunday. But if not, back here on Tuesday. I see you just got a shitload of picks. So go ahead and pick from one. And if you donate, we'd appreciate it very much, I see. So a shitload of picks. But if you ask me for a bet, I will give you the A's there, my man. Wow. What a show. What a day. What a chat. We appreciate all you guys. I couldn't do it without you guys. Support the pub in any way you can. Donate. Be a member of the pub club. Or just go to Pub Sports Radio's website. Go click those betting links, I should say, those gambling website links like Bovada, Bet Online, Bet US. I saw my bookie on there as well. And sign up with an account there. If you sign up with an account, they'll give you a little deposit match as well. Helps us, lets us know, lets the book know that we sent you. They like us more because of it, and it helps out the pub tremendously. So if you're looking for another book option and you're in like Texas, I don't know, which doesn't have legal gambling, use Bovada, use Bet Online. Both you can sign up for on our website today. Bobano, I appreciate you as always. Say hey to us on social media at Bobano, at Jose Bouquett. We'll see you guys next time for another edition of Say Hey Plays.